Vicky here with you, and I'm here with my papers that I've made, and I love how they turned out. I think they're super cute, and I want to make borders out of them. And these measure 13 inches by 7¼ inches. So I'm thinking that for mailing purposes it's better off that I do it in strips like this instead of strips like that, because strips like this I would have to fold them in two. So I'm gonna start with this. I've got all my creative rulers, and you know the drill. I just wanted to play with you guys. So it's so funny too, because this is something that I used to tell Eileen McInnes that I would never do because it was way too hard and everything, and here I am making a bunch of them. So yeah, it's really not all that difficult. They're really fun to make, and you can make fun shapes and make them small, make them large. Doesn't really matter. So like that. I'm gonna vary this time because I usually use pretty much the same type of rulers. So I'm using my Sharpie to mark them. And I'm marking my table instead of the paper. Woohoo, way me. Alright, I'm trying to get a baby wipe, and oh my god, it's difficult. Okay, here we go. All my baby wipes came out at the same time, and you might hear a loud crash soon because I've got a feeling my stash is about to fall down. So since I've made them with you guys, have you been making your own borders? Have you been having fun? You've been using them? That's one thing too. I tend to make stuff and then I don't necessarily use it. I'm really loving these rulers, and finally I'm getting use out of them, because I had them for years and hardly used them, so it's kind of nice to get a use for them, because I don't do a lot of scrapbookings anymore. So that's what they were used for, and without the scrapbooking, well, not so much, right? I did that edge, so let's do that one. And so that's that. So it's super easy and very fun, and the type of thing that you can do in front of the TV. But instead of spending it in front of the TV, I'm spending it with you guys. Much prefer doing that than watching TV. So yeah, I really love how these turned out, and they're pretty much like a standard album size. So very pretty in a journal. And I love that I've put so much texture on them that these, I'm not going to be adding anything else. I can always add it more if I want. And it's very fun that I'm using the calendars, which would have gone to the recycling bin otherwise. And now they're getting a second life as borders, and a third life when they're put into something. So depending on your shapes of borders, some are easier than others to cut. Obviously, when you just have a curve like this, it's a lot easier than when you have an intricate detail. But it's just so much fun. And I wanted to share with you how the papers had turned out, since you saw me do them. And there's always pages of calendars which you don't know what to do with, because not all calendars are pretty. Some have wonderful images that obviously you're going to want to use the image, but some, like this, is just a plain calendar page, and there's really nothing you can do with it. If you're not going to use it, like this type of thing, then basically I've made envelopes with them, and you could use them obviously as a regular page in your journal. But other than that, I haven't come up with other solutions for them. So if you guys have other ideas, let me know, because maybe I can do extras of stuff that I haven't thought about. Because I have tons, as I mentioned when I made this. I've got tons and tons of pages, and I'm still getting tons and tons of pages this year. So I really need to find ways of using them. I don't want to be stuck in a house full of paper and can't get out of my house because of it, and at the same time I can't seem to throw it away. The dilemmas of a crafter. I tell you, the struggle is real. Only another crafter would get how much this is hard to let paper go. Okay, so I've done all of this, and I was left only with this tiny little piece, which is pretty awesome. And then I'm just using a regular marker from the dollar store, nothing fancy, to just do the edges again, because when I cut, obviously it doesn't necessarily cut straight on the edge, and it also leaves a blank, like this white, this edge is white, and I kind of like having it black. And like here I didn't cut straight on the edge, so there was a white piece. So this makes it much neater, and it's much more forgiving. So like here I had no edge left, so now I've got an edge. I haven't counted them. Curious to know how many borders I was able to make out of a sheet like this. Quite a lot actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 borders, so that's a lot. That's a whole lot of borders. So these makes great, see here I didn't go all the way to the edge, but now it doesn't show anymore. So that's the whole point of this. And of the edging. And these make great gifts to send to fellow crafters. Because obviously everybody has different supplies. It's kind of nice to see what others do. And some, like Eileen, will make a lot of doodling and stuff on them. I prefer to leave mine fairly simple, and you can always embellish them when you decide what you're going to use them for. Because I don't know what I'm going to use them initially for, so I find it's a lot easier this way. I really love these. I'm sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm just, you know, thinking as I'm doing this. It's kind of like when you're doing the positivity deck that Calico is doing, and you kind of go into the moment and forget about all the cares in the world. And it's just about edging. It's kind of nice. So almost through this one, and I think I'm going to do the other ones off camera, but at least you will have seen them because they're part of my 100 Things Challenge. And I haven't shared everything with you guys because it's just impossible to do videos on everything. And you don't need any special markers. Like I said, this is a dollar store marker pen. And for stuff like this, I much prefer using those because they're cheap and I'm not using my good supplies that can be used for fancier things. This doesn't need fancy, it just needs some sort of an edge. and it's only because I like it. I could obviously not do an edge. I could probably just, you know, do a pencil mark and cut around that. But I really love the way it looks when it's edged. So that's why I do it. This is so cool to do. Can't believe how afraid I was to make them initially. So here we go. Oh, my delightful borders. I think they're so yummy and full of character. I just love them. So hope it inspires you to make your own out of all kinds of stuff. I've used envelopes before. Now I've used calendar pages. So the world is your oyster. Just go for it, guys. Bye, everyone.